The second running play that we have in the 5-wide attack offense is the counter play, and it's the complement to our zone running play. So I want to walk you through the blocking for that right now. We'll start with the play side, and we like to run the counter play to a 1 and a 5 technique. And so we'll use either a formation or we'll use a field boundary tendency to be able to put the 1 and the 5 to the left. We generally only run this play to the left side. So what we do is we put our bigger people, the biggest tackle that I have and the biggest guard that I have, or the best down blocking people on the left side, so that they can down block and create the movement that we need for the play. On the right side, we put the quickest people, the more agile people, the people that can pull over on the right side. So that's how we personnel to run this play. We're not worried about people knowing that, because we want to see if they want to put their best defensive lineman on this side, or we want to see if they want to play that particular tendency we have. And if they don't, then we feel like we have an advantage, because we run the play over and over and everybody only runs it one way and does one thing on it, so we get really good at it. So to start the play, first we'll start with the center. The center is going to block the first man back, past, or in the A-gap or back, past, so he'll block the 3 technique. And his job is to put his face on the inside armpit breastplate and make that 3 technique go up the field. He can't allow him to go over top of him. All right? The guard, the play side guard, is going to block down on the 1 technique. He's not going to block his inside shoulder. He's going to block the shoulder that's near the midline. So he's going to put his face mask right on his inside armpit breastplate and not the outside part of that guy's shoulder. The reason being is he's not going to block him by himself. He's not responsible for knocking the 1 technique off the ball by himself. We also want to make sure that this 1 technique doesn't run up the field and ruin the play. So he's got to step down, put his body and his face in the right position so that 1 technique doesn't run up the field and knock our pullers off. Okay? The second reason is that this play side tackle is coming down to help him and down block on the 1 technique. He will attack the outside armpit of that 1 technique. Usually he can just use his hands and put it right in that armpit, right underneath those shoulder pads. But that offensive tackle is responsible for making this whole pile end up past the midline. So that we want that 1 technique off the midline, that he should be over here. Just like in the zone play, our running back's going to shuffle over to 4 yards. He's going to head straight downhill, and he's going to run the ball straight up the midline. So the tackle's job, our big down blocking tackle, is to, when that right guard or when the left guard or his guard next to him is engaged, is to move that whole pile off the midline. Okay? Once he's got movement and the guard feels movement, the guard will then overtake the 1 technique, and he'll center up a little bit better, take his left hand, put it on that left breastplate and lock him out, and he'll start taking over the 1 technique. Because ultimately, somewhere as we head into the midline, any point in here, the tackle's going to come off and he's going to wall the backside linebacker, or the Sam linebacker in this case. Okay? And so what we're doing is we're building a little 3-man wall. The center's the first man in the wall, the guard will be the second man in the wall, and then the backside or the play side tackle will climb and be the 3rd man in the wall. So we're building a wall for the running back to run down. Okay? So he has a down block, he has a down block, and he has a down block. Okay? The backside guard has what we call a pull and kick out technique. He is going to open step, and he just open steps. If he was standing on a dial, he would open step to about 11 o'clock, no wider than 10 o'clock, and he's going to go as tight as he can off the center, as tight as he can off the guard, and then he's going to fan out and block the 5 technique. His aiming point is the inside shoulder putting his face mask in that armpit breastplate area. You hear me refer to that. That's where we're going to put our face. And he wants to make sure that 5 technique goes around him, or that he kicks him out and up the field. He does not want to allow him to go back over the top, because that's where the ball's going to go. The ball's going to go straight down the midline. So he has a pull and kick out technique. The tackle has what we refer to as a pull and paddle technique. What that simply means is that, once again, he's not going to open up and get his shoulders perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. He's just going to open his hips enough, stepping at 11 o'clock, and he's going to run downhill off this wall, and he's going to turn and get square, heading downhill with his shoulders as fast as he can. Usually during this time period, the Mike linebacker will scrape over, and so he will center up the Mike linebacker, put his face mask right in his numbers, and just try to cover his body. This is a term that we use a lot when we're blocking, whether it's the zone or the counter, because we want our lineman to cover the man's body. Stay on him, cover his body, and make sure he can't get off of you to make a play. So that's the phrase that we put in their mind to do that. If for some reason this Mike linebacker starts heading downhill as he's pulling and he sees him, then he'll leave his downhill track and he'll kick him out. So now we could possibly have a 2-man wall on this side and a 3-man wall on this side, and then the ball would head straight down between the kickouts and the wall, the down block that we're building with the wall there. Okay? The running back's path, his outside foot is splitting the crotch of the tackle. When the ball is caught, when the ball is touched by the quarterback, he shuffles downhill to 4 yards. There's a slight pause as the quarterback steps down to put it in, and then he sprints right up the midline. But he doesn't leave until he sees the quarterback touch the ball, or hears the quarterback touch him. The quarterback takes a short 6-inch step, puts the ball into the running back's stomach, and then he's heading to the backside. His job is to attract that 5 technique. Okay? We actually could run this as a counter read. If the 5 technique wanted to chase the running back, the quarterback could pull it and keep it. We don't do that a lot, but it is part of the play, so that the with 5 technique has to honor the quarterback. So the quarterback's job is to make sure the 5 technique takes him. And that's how we run our counter play.